Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you're joining me live, love that. That's awesome. If you're not joining me live, that's also fine too. I'll just be a little upset if I'm gonna be honest. But I'm very excited to get into this EP. I was supposed to do this much sooner. However, my personal health has been a little bit hit or miss recently. So if I do look like I am suffering in the more current interviews I've done recently, or if you just don't even notice, that's great. I'd rather have that than somebody be like, oh man, he's not having a good time. But I'm doing better. I want to say I'm healthy enough to do this live. So want to say that I am not dying, by the way. I don't want anybody to get like freaked out or scared. I am not dying. I just want to preface not dying, but I have not been feeling the greatest as of recently. So thank you for my TED Talk here, but I am going to stop shilling about myself, and I'm going to be talking about Arcane Ghosts. And they have a new EP that dropped called Distant Youth, and I wanted to actually have them on to do a live track by track, but things just happened, and I just figured instead of waiting around for that to happen, I would rather review the whole EP live for all of you to check out. So please check the links below. It will all be down there. Please go listen to it if you aren't watching this live. If you are watching this live, then you get to listen to the entire EP with me, which is amazing. So hopefully you'll be joining me for that. But I'm very excited to get into this. I'll also be posting an interview with them on Friday where we kind of go through some of the talking points on the EP as well. So I think it's a good interview to watch. Not that I'm trying to show for my own content here, but if you really kind of want to get to know Arcane Ghosts, then this is going to be the best way to do it with that. So going to get through the entire EP. It's only 5 songs, so short but sweet one. So I'm very excited to kind of get into this whole EP. And then tomorrow, I plan on going live again, and I'm going to be talking about the new Covet album. So if you like that, come join me for that. I'm very excited to delve into it. Yvette's a good homie of the channel, so always love trying to support her artistic endeavors. But yeah, very exciting to get into Distant Youth. It is out now. It's on all streaming services, so please go show these boys some love. They're awesome, and I can't wait to show you the interview. It was quite possibly one of the more funnier interviews I've done this year, so I absolutely love it. But we're going to get into the first song. This one is called Roller Coaster. This was actually the first song that I had listened to. I think besides maybe In the Blue was, I think, the second song that I listened to off of their new album, or EP. I honestly if I say album, I mean EP, and if I mean album, I mean EP. I just feel like they're interchangeable now at this point. But yeah, this is the first song that I listened to. In the Blue, I believe, was the second one I listened to, and the final 3 being Paralyzed, Butterfly, and Fever Dream, I don't think I listened to, but I will double check. So I'm very excited to get into Roller Coaster again. I have not listened to it since we did the interview, so that was like about a month ago. So I'm very excited to re-get into this, but I hope you check it all out if you're not watching live. So let's get into Roller Coaster, and let's jam this one out. It's that guitar riff, man, I'll tell you what.
I cruise around. This place has really turned upside down. I never thought that you would look this way. I wanna say the things that I can never face. What would it take? I can't believe I let you slip away. Tell me everything that's sitting on the front porch, standing at the back of your mind. wanna be that type of person. Try to find the time to stop and listen.
You guys better be sticking around for this. They'd be very upset.
Things that I don't think, just think of the things that you can find. I can't believe that we both walked away. I wanna say the things that I could never face. What would it take? Tell me everything that's sitting on the front porch, standing at the back of
I still love this chorus so much. It rips.
tell you everything that's running through my mind and making my brain shake. Is there anything that makes you wanna switch lanes? Come a little closer to mine. Tell me everything that's on your mind, making your brain shake. Do you even care? Like it all away. Saying that something that has to be losing everything, do it all again. All I know is it's not always what it seems.
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this was the first song off of Arcane Ghosts' new EP, Distant Youth. Check the links below to go give it a listen. And if you're not joining me live, which you should make sure that notification's on. I love doing these. These are honestly some of the most fun times I have with all of you. So I really love doing these. So any opportunity or any chance I can to do these live, I'm going to do them. So, but anyway, this is Arcane Ghosts. They are just, I just want to say the hooks on this track, and I know I mentioned it a lot in our interview, but the hooks on this track was what really kind of initiated my like real admiration for what Arcane Ghosts does, because there's something about it that has kind of this like pop rock sort of feel to it, but I also feel like they pull a lot from the sort of swancore genre of music, where it kind of has more of that sort of almost like post-hardcore sort of feel in a way, and just kind of amalgamations of different genres. I do feel like they kind of, at least to me, have that sort of categorization, which I think is awesome, and I like that they're pulling more from the kind of the more poppy end of things, because I think there's just so many great hooks going on in this track, and that's why I initially loved it. Still one of my favorite tracks. I will be hard-pressed to believe that there might be a better song in this EP. I probably think there will be, but I'm going to hold my breath for now because I really enjoy this one a lot, and I do feel like Jason, in terms of his vocals, sounds super solid. Spaz on the drums just absolutely crushes. I love some of his like rhythmic patterns. It doesn't feel like he's going that like particularly like safe route, if that makes sense. I do feel like he takes a lot of chances on really kind of figuring out where the rhythmic patterns need to fit within the song, and doesn't feel like there's a specific moment where it's like, okay, there's a lot going on, let me just add more onto it. I think there's a really good attention to detail when there comes to some really cool like drumming parts as well. It doesn't feel overfilled out, but I do feel like there's enough there to kind of, again, keep that sort of interest in that play. But I really enjoyed the bass. I don't really feel like I pointed that out when I was listening to it myself, but I always feel like when these videos, I give more of an opportunity to kind of break down each song as they are. And I really love Steve's bass playing on this. there was some really cool moments where you could hear him break off from the main melody and just kind of does his own thing. And I think that that's awesome because a lot of the times I feel like the bass player follows the drummer, and those, I mean, I think that's still the case here, but I do like when bass players kind of go off the beaten trail a little bit and do their own thing. It's not just like you're confined to this space. You can kind of do different things and make it more interesting. I did find out that Steve is a music major, so that would also explain why the bass lines aren't your atypical kind of like, let's stick with the drums, let's kind of stick with the beat. It really has a lot more nuance to it that I think if you are a bass player, I really feel like you're going to gravitate a lot towards the way that this EP goes, because the guitar work's really intricate but also really engaging in that way, and doesn't feel like it's overbearing, because I think the barrier of entry has been kind of lowered because it's more in that sort of pop phrasing. The bass player, obviously Steve, is fantastic in the way that he kind of like thinks about how his bass melodies fit within the entirety of the song. And then I think Spaz comes in and just really adds this sort of like unique sort of like drumming texture within the song that not only keeps you engaged but also keeps to the more like, the beats. It's just on point. So to me, I still think this is the song to beat personally, but I really am excited to get into some of the songs that I have not listened to and really kind of break it down a little bit more. But yeah, I would say if you are checking out Arcane Ghosts for the first time, I would highly recommend starting off with Roller Coaster, because I think it has kind of like the best moments thus far that of the songs that I've listened to. But who knows, maybe there might be a better song out of this EP that I haven't listened to yet and I can suggest to you guys. So we are going to move it on to the second song, and that one is going to be In the Blue. So let's give it a listen.
Last summer, you saw the clock on the wall. Where'd you find her? You know she stands so tall, like a ghost in the night. But I don't wanna fight. Oh, grandfather, you know you fake me out.
Ooh, okay, this has got more of like a punk beat. Reminds me a lot of like Bearings. Oh, this is sick. Ooh, nice. Like the little, like, group vocals. Nice. Ooh. Yeah, this is... Ooh, alright. Ooh, that bass riff, what? Ooh, I nice that halftime. All right, that was nice. That was sick. Wow. I don't think I listened to this one. I want to say I didn't. I thought I did, but I don't think I did. I think Fever Dream was the one I listened to, actually. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I know for a fact I listened to Roller Coaster. But, guys, this was track 2, In the Blue. That rhymed. I didn't mean to. That was completely unintentional. But, yeah, this one was great. Has a lot more energy. Which is saying a lot, because Roller Coaster I feel like has a pretty good amount of energy to it. But yeah, I like the more kind of straight punk beat of this song. Not really what I was expecting altogether, but it really works with their vibe. I love the kind of more like major attentive like kind of sound going on in this track. The like group vocals was a really nice addition as well. Kind of gives me a almost like a spring summer sort of vibe, you know, which can't complain. Definitely in my neck of the woods, Pennsylvania, it's gonna get real hot. So I feel like this song I might have to break out, you know, just for the car rides, you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot. Very fun, very very energetic. I will also say too, I love the drumming in this track, but again, the bass playing on this is really kind of, I don't want to say it's throwing me for a loop, because I know Steven's obviously a very talented bass player, but it's just kind of unexpected, because you kind of listen to this type of music and you expect a certain thing, but when your expectations are met and probably even more so exceed that expectation, it's almost like your brain can't function like why these bass riffs work so well and why they're so intricate, or like why they work so well with like the guitar playing and also the drumming. It just kind of blows my mind. And I also said in the interview how well these songs are crafted, that it's kind of a surprise to me this band isn't much larger than they are right now, because the attention to detail in some of these hooks, I think that a lot of bands should really take notice of that, because it doesn't matter if you're releasing a full length or an EP or you're releasing all singles. I think it's that level of detail and the attention to care that you want to show within your music. And anytime that somebody finds out about your band, you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. And I feel like with each one of these songs that I've heard thus far, and I imagine very similarly for the rest of the EP, there's this attention to detail where you could listen to each individual song and they have their own sort of like flavor or, you know, thought process in it. However, they all can stand alone. They all have a great melody. They all have a great hook. And the fact that they come together in an EP is even that much better. So I think that this one is a fun, like, lively track, and really kind of enjoyed this. It was just fun is honestly the best adjective to describe this song. I just think it's a really energetic, fun song, and really enjoyed going through this one. The kind of like different variations of like the guitar work and some of the bass playing and the drumming, I really want to kind of delve into a little bit more, and I imagine as I listen to it more, I'll get a little bit more acquainted to it. But I really enjoyed this one from first jump. I still think Roller Coaster is my numero uno right now, but that can very much change. But I enjoyed this. This is a 2 thumbs up song. I'm curious how the rest of the EP is, but this one was very fun, so I enjoyed this one a lot. So we are going to move it on to the next track, which is track 3. This is Paralyzed, so let's give it a listen. Ooh. Like this tappy guitar lead. Very nice, very nice. Falsetto, like the falsetto harmonies. Nice. Oh, big chorus. We love that. Each song has been a different vibe, and I think I like that. Clean. I like the divergent melodies. That's tight. Nice little fill from Spaz. This is nice. Definitely the most different of vibes, I think, thus far. But I like it, though. Alright, guys, that was track 3, Paralyzed, off of Arcane Ghosts' new album / EP. I'm just going to keep saying... I'm going to keep messing it up because I'm so used to saying albums. Is their new EP called Distant Youth. You can check the links below. Go pick it up if you can. This one was very tight. Very different from both In the Blue and Roller Coaster. I like this sort of tappy kind of like lead guitar part at the beginning. Very nice, very ethereal. I think the thing that I think makes this song great is this sort of textures, the layering. I think there's a lot going on, and it's very easily can be just kind of overcrowded, but I like that they take moments throughout the song, add different layers, add different textures, and it doesn't feel like it's all one thing, which I love. I like that there's kind of breaks and gaps within the song that, you know, you get kind of the full band moment, you get kind of like harmonies, you get like cool falsetto moments, you get cool like real kind of ethereal stuff going on, and it all breaks up the song in a unique way. And I think it all culminates to that last chorus where there's these two kind of divergent melodies, one person singing one thing. I'm pretty sure Jason is dubbing over himself, if I'm not mistaken. The guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if they're still in the chat. I don't know. But I do feel like there is this level of, you can hear Jason, then you hear another kind of melody come in, and they just overlap. And I do feel like sometimes it might be a little bit too much, but I do like kind of the counteract of like the call and response kind of moments throughout the song. I think that's very nice. As well as that, I think this one is a little bit more mellow, is a little bit more chill, has more of a vibe to it. And I think I like that, because Roller Coaster kind of feels like an up and down, no pun intended. In the Blue has this sort of like strong sort of punk energy that you just love, and those types of songs I feel like do a very good job of setting up a band pretty well. And then Paralyze is a nice counterbalance to In the Blue, because it's more mellow, it's a little bit more soft, it's a little bit more vibey, and I think thus far it's been able to show kind of the range. And like I said, it's the one thing that I mentioned in the Blue, I'm going to still keep very similarly with this one, is the way that they kind of separate themselves musically. I do appreciate that each one of these songs has a unique characteristic to it, and I'm curious if they're going to continue on with that sort of trend with this EP thus far. But yeah, really enjoyed this one a lot. Very fun, very vibey. I do feel like this one might be one that I might have to get into a little bit more. There were some moments where I feel like there's a little bit more to get out of, and excuse me, with just kind of one listen, it's hard to really get into it immediately. But I do feel like with multiple listens, this one will get better with time. So I do like this one a lot. I still think Roller Coaster's at number 1 still. So I got 2 more songs until I declare the winner. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. Definitely a different vibe and a different side of Arcane Ghosts that you may not have heard of thus far. So I think this one's cool, and we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Butterfly. So let's give it a listen. All right. Ooh, this gives me like block party vibes. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, the hooks on this. Oh, I think I'm gonna... Is this gonna be a roller coaster? I'm gonna find out.
Butterfly, butterfly, you're my mind. Days are all the days, they don't pass me by. Losing my mind. Saying everything they don't want it to find. Butterfly, butterfly, you're my mind. Days are all the things that don't pass me by. I won't ever dream of you and me together. Saying everything that'll get you. Say it's all in my head. 'Cause I don't wanna listen, you don't wanna hear me. Say it's all in my head.
Ooh, this chorus is weird, but I like it.
Say it's all in my head, say it's all in my head.
Chord phrasing is very interesting.
It's all in my head.
Oh yeah, I like this one a lot.
I've been thinking of the work that I could use, so you believe what you don't see. Elephants flying in the room, I think this all I need to breathe. I gotta take a minute just to forget. I didn't wanna be the one to waste your time. The pieces floating are just bringing me down. But you say it's all in
Yeah, this is tight.
I don't wanna listen, you don't wanna hear me. Say it's all in my head. Say it's all in my head, say it's all in my head. Say it's all in my head.
It's almost got a little easy core vibe, a little 4-year strong action. All right. Ooh. Yeah, I was right. I kind of called it. Yeah, this part's sick.
Say it's all in my head. 'Cause I don't wanna listen, you don't wanna hear me. Say it's all in my head. Say it's all in my head, say it's all in my head. Say it's all in my head.
Oh yeah, this ending rocks. All right, let's go. Yeah, this one's it. I'm not even gonna front. This one is the best one. Guys, that was track 4 of Arcane Ghosts' newest album / EP. I keep saying album. It's an EP. I'm gonna eventually get that correct. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, this one rocked. This one was by far my favorite by a landslide. It just spoke to me. It had that sort of easy core sort of love. You know, it almost reminded me off of that 4 Year Strong EP or album that most people did not like. I think it's in some way, shape, or form, but I just want to make sure I have that correct. So I'm Googling it right now, just so I'm not left-handing. Yes, it's in some way, shape, or form. I think that album is hella underrated as a 4 Year Strong album, and I think that this song very easily could have ended up on something like that. So I love to play to kind of that easy core pop punk sort of feel. But yeah, this one rocked. I loved the guitar work in this track. Oh, it was so good. And then just some of the atypical ways that they went about the melodies, especially in that bridge breakdown portion of the song, that I really feel like I did a lot of plosives there. So good thing I have this thing, because otherwise your ears would have been busting out right now. I really enjoyed this one, just kind of from front to back. There was nothing I really hated about it, and not that I feel like the other songs had things that I hated about it either, but this one just spoke to me. This one hit that easy core love in my heart for that type of music, and it just felt fun. I think it took all of the energy and love that I really loved about In the Blue, and kind of those more like happy, more melodic things that I really enjoyed about that song, amped it up to like 10, and then threw like some easy core riffage in there and just put that shit in a blender and then blended it up, because I think that this one has all of the best aspects of In the Blue, but just dialed up to level 10, and I think that that's great. Again, love that bridge break. That was awesome. I think that some of the like melodies and some of the ways that the guitar is phrased in this track was really interesting, and I'd be more curious to know how this one kind of came to be, because I don't believe we really talked about this one since it wasn't out. But I really love Jason's guitar work in this track, and then just kind of like, it does feel like the whole band is working so well within this song that it's hard to deny its love of the track. I think that everybody kind of has their moment to shine within the song, but it just has this sort of infectious energy that you just can't help but just like be like moving and grooving, So I think this one's rad. I really enjoyed this one a lot. Probably my favorite thus far. Fever Dream would have to really just absolutely blow me out of the water for it to break number 1. But I think right now my 2 favorites are going to be Butterfly, and I would say Roller Coaster is also a close second. I'll also say as well, to the defense of Butterfly as well, I think that they take a lot of cool melodic cues from Roller Coaster and In the Blue, and then just kind of migrate it over into like that easy core setting. I think it really works within this confines of the song, and it is one that I think sits very well next to Paralyze, because Paralyze is more melodic, it's a little softer, it's not as aggressive, and then to get just like kicked in the teeth with Butterfly is awesome. I love that. I love when bands kind of, again, show off that sort of range, that ability to have those songs that are a little bit softer, a little bit more melodic, but aren't afraid to tell you, hey, I got some teeth, I got them teeth, so let me show it to you. So I love that, because nothing's cooler than having a softer song and being in that mindset, and then just getting absolutely obliterated once this fucking song comes in. So I love that. This one's my favorite. And we're going to move it on to the last track, which is Fever Dream. So hopefully, if you enjoyed this and you've enjoyed just listening to Arcane Ghosts as much as I have, please check the links below. Go support these guys. If you do live in Canada land, go see them. They're in the Toronto area, so if you have an opportunity to go see them live, I would highly recommend it. I hope that they eventually make it to the States at some point. Canada isn't that far away, so we are practically neighbors. So fingers crossed this year I'll be able to see them. But yeah, these guys rip. So very excited to get into the final song. I guess not excited. I'm regretting it a little bit. I don't want it to be over with, but good things must pass sometimes. But we are going to get into the final the final song, Fever Dreams. Before I just have a stroke right now, so let's get into the next song, or I might be having a fever dream. Oh, yeah, I think it was Fever Dream. Ooh. You know what? Why are they doing this to me? Man, Steve's really bringing the funk out in this track. I'm mad. Yeah, it was Fever Dream. Oh, this fucking song rips!
And I've been falling harder and faster. You keep telling me. It's like I'm stuck in a loop, constantly making me relive the same.
Jason crushes in this song, I'll tell you what.
Watch my sights, gotta watch my steps. Your beauty is reflecting off the waterbed. I'll hold this sunset never ends. Come a little closer, baby, it's a breeze. Vibrations take over. In the heat of fever dreams, we live to you see me. Caught up in this love, caught up in this love. Caught up in this love, caught up in this love. Come a little closer, baby, it's a breeze. Vibrations take over. Come a little closer, baby, it's a breeze. Vibrations take over. In the heat of
Is that like falsetto line at the end? Oh, so tight.
you see me. Come a little closer, baby, it's a breeze. Vibrations take over. In the heat of fever dreams, we live to you see me.
Oh, I forgot how good this one was. God, fuck. Ugh. All right, guys, that was a final track number 5 off of Arcane Ghosts' new EP, Distant Youth. You can check the links below to go pick it up. Go support the guys. Oh man, you know what? I'm big mad because I know this one. I listened to this one, and I'm kind of mad that I put Butterflies. So I mean, again, I still think Butterfly is my favorite out of the entire EP. I would say right now my favorites, Butterfly, and I'd probably put Fever Dream. Those two are on the same level. I don't think I can really I can't move one up or down. They both got insane range. But yeah, this one has this great punk. Why did I say punk? It has this great funk feel to it. I love the bass playing done by Steve on this track. Absolutely crushed the riffs. The guitar work. Well, let me tell you something about the guitar work. The guitar work in this, ooh, you already thought that was good. Then on the sheer fact that you all should know that Jason also did the vocals on this song as well. So just to keep that in mind when you're listening to this song is that not only is he doing the guitar playing, but he's also singing. And you know how much skill that takes? A lot of skill. So I love this for the sheer fact that not only some of these musical like vocal runs are super tight, but the guitar work on top of that is just a piece de resistance. We love it. I think that it's also great. I love Spaz's drumming. He kind of has this more like kind of upbeat, a lot of hi-hat work, which is really tight. But just, man, everything about this song just like exudes groove. It's just one of those songs. If you showed this song to someone, if they don't immediately start doing one of these, vibing out, feeling themselves, ain't for you. I'm gonna you can show them this clip, they are not for you, because this one, if this doesn't elicit any sort of vibes or movement, then I don't know what to tell you, because this one is one's a vibe setter, 100%. And just the way that it closes out the EP, I think is really great. As I mentioned at pretty close to the top of this review, I think Arcane Ghosts does a really great job of giving you a different kind of like panorama view of their music and their sound. You have songs that are a little bit more like rocky, a little bit more fun. You have like more of a punk song. You have a more mellow, chill song. You have an easy core kind of like pop punk adjacent track, and then you end off with like a funky like pop rock sort of insane amalgamation song. And if that doesn't show off the range of this band, I don't know what else will. But I think for having 5 songs and being able to utilize those 5 songs in such a unique way, I gotta give him a lot of kudos about it, because it's hard as a band to still feel like Arcane Ghosts, and all of these songs have that sort of Arcane Ghosts like feel to them, but I also feel like just individually can stand on their own. If you listen to Roller Coaster, there are some moments within other songs that you can hear things from. If you start off with In the Blue, there's some moments you can pick out from other songs in the EP. And the list goes on for this EP. I do think that there is this level of individuality within each song, but if you put them together in an EP, it makes more sense. And as someone who listens to a lot of albums and a lot of EPs, that is such a great thing to hear, that kind of that front end sort of feel to it. So really can't talk enough praise about this EP. It's definitely going to be pretty up there on my EPs of the year, certainly. I know we are only in April, but it really has this sort of staying power that I feel like other bands should definitely be keeping an eye out for, because I just had a fun time vibing throughout the entire EP, and I didn't feel like, oh, okay, this is a little bit too out there for them, or this one doesn't feel that, or this one feels a little bit too safe, or whatever. I think there was enough risk taken, but I also feel like there's a lot of exploration that still can be done going further. There's some moments within songs that I was like, man, if they kind of just pressed it a little bit more, done something a little bit more out there, they really could have pushed the gambit just a little bit. And that's not to discount the songs the way that they are now, because I really like them, and I think the way that they fit in the EP is really well antiquated. But it does kind of give me a lot of excitement, a lot of things to look forward to with Arcane Ghosts going down the line, because if they're able to kind of compile 5 songs and really kind of have their sound stamped in, baked in, whichever metaphor you'd like to use, but still have things that make them unique or make them different, or have things within a song that can try to energize you in some way, I can't speak more on that with this EP, because I think they do a great job of really showing off what influences they draw from, and kind of continuing to grow as a band, and it's honestly such a cool EP. And like I said, only listening to both the literal front end and book end of this EP, and to hear the songs in between, I think it gives me a much better picture on how diverse this EP is and how fun it is for new listeners. So if I really could suggest anything, I would highly recommend just listening to the EP itself as a whole. It's not much longer than I think 30 minutes, and it's well worth that time to just kind of really indulge and really sit in and enjoy it. But if you don't have time to really do that, which I understand, I would probably say the last two songs spoke to me the most, because I'm a little bit more on the heavier side of music, but I love the vibes of Fever Dreams, really kind of funky, really groovy, and then Butterfly really scratched that itch in that sort of easy chord genre, and also blending a lot of sort of like pop punk riffage in there as well too. So I would say this is absolutely an EP you need to go give a listen to. I would not stop listening to this band if you have the opportunity to. I know personally for me, I'm going to be trying to listen to Distant Youth as much as possible, and definitely excited to see how see where I land going further with the album, or with the EP more specifically, towards the end of the year. Am I going to have the same thoughts? I'd imagine I probably will, because these songs really hold up super well, and as they mentioned in the interview, I think they take a lot of care and thought process into working on these songs, and I do feel like they do a great job of nailing that down. So would highly recommend giving Arcane Ghosts some love. Check the links in the description. It has their link tree, so make sure if you can go pick it up, go do so. I don't know if they're going to have physical copies of this album or not, or EP. I keep saying album, and I said that EP one time. I gotta get it stuck in my head. I don't know if they're gonna be releasing physicals. I feel like if you pester them enough, they might actually do it. So I'm hoping they do. If not, definitely go stream it on Spotify. I know it's on there, as well as any other streaming service. I happen to be on YouTube right now, so it's on YouTube. You can go listen to it there as well. Just type in Arcane Ghosts, Distant Youth, and the EP will come up. So please go give them some love. Again, I want to give a massive shout outs to Becky over at Big Picture Media. She's my homie. I love her. And she sends me some really cool bands like this one. So very excited for the interview to drop on Friday. I hope y'all will check it out. It was a fun time, and I really enjoyed talking to these guys. So hoped to see more of Arcane Ghosts going down the line, and I hope that you guys go check out Arcane Ghosts. Cannot recommend this band enough. Go give them some love. And if you enjoyed this live review, tomorrow, hopefully, I will be doing Covet's new album, Catharsis, live. So hopefully you'll be joining me for that. I would love for you to be there if it's possible. If not, I'm going to be a little upset. But, I will live on, So please go give Arcane Ghosts some love. Really, really sick band that I do feel like you should go give them some love. So check it out. I also haven't forgotten about the live streams for people who have suggested albums to me. I have got a plan, and I'm gonna execute it. So be checking out the live stuff soon. We're gonna be having more stuff coming down the pipeline. So make sure your eyes are peeled. So thank you guys for watching. Love all y'all, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Peace.